This is Frank Sweeney, your host on Midwest Sports Special, and today we are on Prospect, Illinois, to bring you the 8th Annual Illinois State High School Gymnastics Championships. With me here is Mr. Victor Lesh, head football coach and gymnastics coach at Willowbrook High School in Villa Park, Illinois. Victor was president of the National High School Gymnastics Coaches Association and past president of the Illinois High School Gymnastics Coaches Association. So, Victor, we're expecting some pretty good authenticity out of you tonight as far as these events go.
Well, thank you. It's very nice to be here.
What can we look forward to? What sort of events are we going to have tonight? Do you want to categorize them for me?
Well, we have 6 events tonight, namely the trampoline, side horse, horizontal bar, parallel bars, rings, and tumbling.
I understand the competition this year, Victor, is probably the finest that there has been in the 8 years of competition.
It's been steadily increasing each year.
It has?
Yes.
You have some of your own boys in here. You won the championship for Willowbrook last year. How do you expect your boys to fare?
We have 5 finalists this evening. We should have a nice showing.
10 boys in each event coming down to the finals. We'll be around with all of the excitement, bringing you highlights on Midwest Sports Special right after this message. Now, in each event, there are 10 finalists. It's a lot drawing to determine who's going to be first, second, third in order of appearance. Is that correct?
That's right.
These young ladies walking around will sit by. The girls will flash these scores to us. Now, remember that on each event, for each boy, and then total the 2 middle scores to give him his final scoring. Here we're looking at the back of judge number 4. The trampoline finals coming up.
Now, here we have a boy from Evanston. His name is Richard Krim. Last year placed 3rd in the state final competition. 1964, 3rd place.
He'll get up to a certain altitude or height there and try to maintain it. Is that correct?
That's right. Very difficult double somersault work here with twisting combination. Those are called flippuses. Notice the height that he's maintaining. His form while in the air is good. Should receive a high score. As a double, a 1 3/4 somersault with a double Cody.
The crowd certainly liked Richard Krim's performance from Evanston High School. So at the moment, Richard Krim of Evanston is the higher scorer with 170 points. This is Bill Rondinella of Evanston High School.
There are 3 boys in from Evanston this evening. Very consistent performers. At the present time, Richard Krim is leading. This is Rondinella. Another very good exercise, and did you notice throughout the exercise that the boy wore shorts? I believe the first performer so far this evening that wore shorts. A boy, when he possesses very good form, likes to display this by not wearing pants. Pants occasionally will disguise some slight form break.
This is Gary Halbeck up on there, and you know quite a bit about this boy, I'm sure.
Yes, as a sophomore, he finished 2nd in competition in 1963. Last year, he was our state champion.
Bill Rondinella scored 178 points.
Good. There's a double back somersault into a front somersault with 1 1/2 twist. There's a 1 3/4 back somersault into a double Cody. He'll receive a slight deduction for his hands touching on his last trick. At the present time, Bill Rondinella is leading with 174 in 2nd place. Richard Krim and Gary Holback are tied at the present time.
This is Phil Ewing of Evanston High School. Getting close to the end there. That'll cost him points.
Yes, but these boys have been under pressure, and they throw a great deal of routines each night, and they show their composure throughout. Another slight deduction on the landing.
The pressure on these boys has to be tremendous. They're the best in the state, and they come down here with all the pressures on them, hoping to win the championship, and then the added psychological thing that television might cause them.
Yes.
It's giving them, but they're still putting on a very fine performance. Now, Steve Alleman of Niles East. I notice he starts his toward the end. Victor, does that make any difference?
I didn't quite understand.
He started his routine from the end of the trampoline. Does that make any difference?
Yes, this gives him quite a number of feet out in front of him, quite a distance of the trampoline. so he can travel just a little bit more in that first trick.
Beautiful ending by Steve Alleman of Niles East. Now we'll get the winners officially in the trampoline finals. Bill Ewing would be in 5th place from Evanston.
Bill will take his place on the winner's stand. In 4th place, Steve Alleman of Niles East.
Steve Alleman of Niles East in 4th place, taking his position now on the winner's stand. 2nd and 3rd, I'm sure, are a toss-up. If they're going to go by the 2nd place tie, that's it.
For 2nd place,
As we gave it to you, Richard Krim and Gary Halter.
that's 3rd. This will be Richard Krim of Evanston and Gary Holbeck of Arlington.
And we were right in our unofficial totals then that Bill Randonella of Evanston is the winner in the trampoline final.
On the trampoline, from Evanston, Bill Randonella.
As the winner in the trampoline event, Bill Randonella from Evanston, Illinois. There are all of the contestants in the championships at Prospect High School. Necessarily in this one. Tell us a little bit about the side horse, Victor.
Well, the boys on the side horse are going to try to present an exercise, and the exercise contains or is presented a lot of timing and balancing skills. The entire exercise is done on the hands, and the boys should use all 3 parts of the horse that you see on the screen at the present time. Boys will present predominantly double-leg circles with single-leg variations throughout their exercise.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Major faults on an exercise would be breaking and sitting onto the horse or touching the horse with the body.
first of all,
They'll try to come as close as they can to the horse itself without touching it, though.
They'll try to maintain no contact at all with the horse. They'll receive deductions when their body, leg, or hand, or if they're sitting down on the horse, they'll receive deductions for this.
Our first man up on the side horse will be Jim DeBoo from Barrington, Illinois.
Jim's a very fine performer, qualified in the districts in 2nd position. He's going to mount with what we call a Moore mount, and these are the double-leg circles that I mentioned before. Behind the back, Moore, and then trauma down. Now he's looping around the end. Notice he's working down the end. He received a slight deduction for sitting on the horse. He did his leg work. Here's some more leg work. These are scissors.
Now, he's used 2 parts of that horse. He has to use the other end sometime.
Yes, he should go down to that end to perform his dismount. Yes, there he is. And he's doing loops around the end with a half-turn dismount.
This is Edward Raymond of Niles West.
Very good performer. He placed first in his district at Rich Central. There was a hop on the end. He looped around. He's doing circles on the end. He trombled it, traveled to the center. Also, it was a single-leg circle. Now he's doing reverse circles. And boy should present a circle in the opposite direction of his main exercise. Now he's coming down to this far end, or our near end, and looping off.
Looked to me like he touched the horse a couple of times there, which would cost him points if I'm correct.
He had a few slight...
There are the finalists in the side horse finals.
informed of a printing error that we had on the program, and I...
In the side horse now, you'll be enthralled, I'm sure, by the way these fellows go through the action. The boys are standing in front of the side horse, in case you're not familiar with the side horse event. And Victor Lesh, our Willowbrook High School coach, has a few of his boys represented here in the events tonight. Not
performance.
Now we're looking at Craig Sulak from Evanston High School.
A very tall boy. He has a slight advantage on the side horse with long arms. This will permit him to be off the horse a little farther distance than some of the other competitors that you've seen so far. And that's why he's doing exercises of this type, starting with loops and doing a lot of travel work. He has an advantage of long arms, and he's using this to the best advantage for this particular piece of equipment.
You notice his left arm is bandaged at the wrist, perhaps.
Possibly a slight strain or sprain during the practice or during the season.
Very smooth performance. Craig Sulak of Evanston High School finishing his performance.
Boy travels to the center. He's a very nice performer. Notice he's worked all three parts. Changing direction. Slight deduction for the leg touching the horse. He seems to be doing very well at this point.
This is Craig Kinsey of Hinsdale High School.
Going down to the end, getting ready for his dismount. Those are loops on the end. And a half turn.
Craig Kinsey of Hinsdale.
John's another tall boy, and he performs an exercise moving up and down the horse, utilizing the long arms. Notice he's looping the end, showing the very dangerous loops at the beginning of an exercise. Travel all the way down to one end. Notice he's still in double leg work. Into the leg, single leg variations. Pick up his circles once again. Travel to the end. Again, some more loop work. And a half-turn dismount. I might mention here, John placed 8th in 1964 finals. Deductions.
Also from Niles West, Bruce Bolden.
Those boys, when they come up to the side horse, once they make their move toward it, they must start through their routine immediately.
Yes. Once they mount the equipment, their exercise is started, and they are graded from that point.
Ready to go on the side horse now from Niles West High School, Bruce Balnick.
Another fine performer. These boys are from the same school. Very difficult mount. Did a hop change at the beginning. Now he's down to one end, doing loops around. This is very dangerous to do this early in the exercise. And there's a hop change. And he doubled into the center, doing his leg, single leg circle. Cut into reverse work. He did several reverse circles there, which is unusual. He's taken quite a number of chances, putting a lot of difficulty in his routine.
Bruce Balnick of Niles West High School.
Very good.
We'll be right back with more of the action in the Illinois High School Gymnastics Tournament following this message. We're going to move them along now in our coverage of the Illinois High School Gymnastics Championships to the horizontal bar competition.
And on this, the boys must present a good deal of strength, timing, and an unusually great amount of daringness. Their routine should include variations between giant swings and also in-bar moves. Moves where they come from a large circle around the bar into a very close in-bar move. Any hesitations will receive a slight deduction, or any breaks in the continuity of that exercise.
Our sidekick here, Victor Lesh, coach at Willowbrook, is going to leave us a little bit because he has 3 boys in this event. And following the Evanston boys' performance, the Evanston coach, Ron Waldron, will come over here and relieve Vic for a moment so he can go down alongside of the bar. He likes to be right alongside of those boys when they're up there performing.
Next up, Richard Sweatman.
You notice Coach Rotzheim from Proviso East is sanding the bar with some emery paper. This is to take the high spots off of this cake carbonate of magnesia. We call this chalk.
Now on the bar is Richard Sweatman of Proviso East.
Back upright full twist, and then he kicked into reverse giants. He's going to stoop into eagles. These are eagle giants. And he hopped back into his reverse giants. A pirouette change. Now he's in a regular giant. Crossing over into reverse giants. Into his dismount. That's assistant coach Sandy Horn congratulating Richard Sweatman. If you recall, he was our all-around winner.
Richard Sweatman, the all-around winner. And Vic Lesh is going to leave us now while we wait for the scores and for Ron Waldron to move in here alongside of us while we watch Vic Lesh down there working with his boys. The first one up will be Richard Scorza from Proviso East. Richard Scorza from Willowbrook will be the first Willowbrook representative. 88, 90, 89, good scores. 87, So if we take out that 90 and 87, what do we get there? 177 is the total score for Richard Sweatman of Proviso East High School. We're looking now at Richard Scorza, and the man on the left there is his coach, Victor Lesh, who has been seated with us during the performance. He has 3 boys in this event. Ron Waldron, the Evanston High coach, has moved in here now. Ron, you want to tell us what he's going through up there?
He just finished the German Giant swing. He's already completed what's known as Eagle Giant swings, and he's on his way to a very high score. That was a full twisting flyaway. Very difficult distance. This could be the winner of the high bar event.
That was a mighty fine performance by your boy Ernest McDonald, and also followed by a fine performance by Richard Sweatman. So I imagine the winner in this event is going to just have to be almost perfection. This is Frank Carbonara, of Willowbrook High School. This boy has overcome a lot of handicaps. He's been in automobile accidents, and I was watching him practice the other day, and he's working with a smashed finger. So let's see what kind of a performance he can do.
That was called a Chris Kerr. Very difficult. This is a vault.
You coaches must go through every routine with them, don't you?
That was known as a reverse Stalder shoot. Very difficult maneuver on the horizontal bar. Yes, we go through it right with him, I'm sure.
Preparing for his dismount. And a hammer.
Flyaway dismount.
Very nice performance. Frank Carbonara of Willowbrook High School. And we're seated in front of the Willowbrook cheering section over here, so you know they're pleased with the performance, too. Now Bert Schmidt of Arlington High.
This is a shoot for Eagle Giant swings. There are the Eagle Giant swings. This is very well done so far. That was a vault over the horizontal bar. It's a giant change. Another change. And there's his dismount.
Bert Schmidt of Arlington High School. Very nice performance. This is Tony Steelman, the third representative from Willowbrook High School. Coach Les and his assistant down there.
Here comes the Eagle Giant swings. Always going to have difficulty. He just forced through him. It showed a lot of determination on the part of that boy. Here comes his vault over the bar.
Hand movement on the bar is important, isn't it?
Yes, one release is required in a horizontal bar routine, and they're very difficult to do. He's winding for his dismount now. There's his dismount. Very nice job.
Tony Steelman of Willowbrook High School. Coach Lesh seems pleased with the performance. We'll see how pleased the judges were in a matter of moments.
Yes.
The winners in the horizontal bar finals, Bert Schmidt of Arlington in 5th place.
In 4th place now.
This is the 4th place winner, Frank Carbonara. 3rd place,
In 3rd place.
Tony Steelman. In 2nd place,
From Willowbrook.
Richard Scorza from Willowbrook.
Congratulations.
That boy's a junior, incidentally.
New state champion, Richard Sweatman of Proviso East.
Proviso East, the champion in the horizontal bar finals. Midwest Sports Special is bringing you highlights of the Illinois High School Gymnastics Championship Tournament from Mount Prospect, Illinois. More action coming up after this. Coming up, Edward Raymond of Niles West in 5th place. And that's the way it is officially. In 4th place, John Ferguson of Glenbard East, who had a score of 167. Then we have a tie for 2nd and 3rd.
For second, between
Craig Sulak of Evanston and Craig Kinsey of Hinsdale. Each of them scored a 169. And the winner in the event,
And in 1st place,
Bruce Balnick of Niles West High School.
Congratulations to this boy.
How's it doing on the team championship so far, Vic?
Unofficially, I have Evanston in first place with 46 points at the present time. Niles West will be is in second place, 30 points.
On to the scene now, the 13 contestants for the finals of the parallel bars. Pat Kivland of Prospect, Dick Lees of Niles West, Bob Whitmer of Palatine, Tom Dunn of Arlington.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And now they'll be introduced individually, so let's pick up the PA.
young man, ladies second, Jerry Boychuk. From Prospect, Stuart Bedford. From Niles West, Bruce Bolton. From Niles North, Ron Rapper. From York, Tom Bennett. From Maine South, Dennis Osgood. From Proviso West, D. Bonavolanta. From Proviso East, Richard Sweatman.
That's the boy that just won the horizontal bar.
McDonald.
In the parallel bars, strength and balance are the prime requisites for the performer. Routine should include... Now we have Bruce Balnick of Niles West.
Placed ninth in the 1964 finals.
I understand some of the events that these boys do now are routines are so much more difficult than when he first started.
Yes, these boys progress very, very rapidly through the season because they see other boys of their high school age performing almost every week. They have dual meets throughout the season, they have conference meets, and they have an opportunity to perform against other high school competitors, and they can see what they are doing. Bruce is a very fine performer. As you can see, he has good style and good form. It's a pirouette, layaway, front uprise, and a front off. Very nice exercise.
Bruce Balnick of Niles West.
Richard has won so far the all-around event and the horizontal bar event, if you recall. So now he's in preparation for the championship here. Very nice under the bar somersault. A straight arm, straight leg press to a handstand. Brings his legs together. Stuts to a handstand. Slight deduction, but that was a very difficult move. Back somersault to a handstand. Stuts, he's doing very nicely at this point. Under the bar, half twist. Front uprise, a handstand layaway, front uprise, front off. That should be right up with the leaders.
Very nice performance. Richard Sweatman of Proviso East, a happy coach and a happy performer on the screen now.
That's right.
At least one trick below and one trick above the bars in which the grip is momentarily released. Movements are predominantly swinging. Major faults are breaks in continuity and touching of the bars with the body. This is Tom Dunn.
A press to handstand. This boy's a sophomore. At Arlington, a back somersault catch, intermediate stuts or the front cast. Straddle cut, a layaway, front uprise, swing to a handstand, nose off firm, and a back somersault this time.
Tom Dunn of Arlington High School. Fine performance. This is Jerry Boychuk of Lane Tech. Vic, you say you haven't seen this boy, but you understand he's quite good.
Yes.
We'll watch with you.
Under the bar somersault, or what we call a peach basket. Very slow. Hollow back press to a handstand. That's called a stuts to a handstand. Back somersault catch into a stuts. Under the bar cast. Straddle, nice and high. Layaway, front uprise. Pirouette. And a back somersault off.
Very nice performance by Jerry Boychuk.
Mr. Rothstein is one of the finest coaches in the high school ranks.
Pressure on Ernest McDonald must
Very
be terrific.
concentrated effort here. Under the bar cast and release. Nice start. Back somersault, catch. Under the bar, cast. Disengage, glide, kip to the upper arms, a straddle cut, into a plunge. This is a very difficult strength move. Layaway, front uprise, Run off.
Very nice. He should score well, too.
Very strong boy.
Ernest McDonald of Evanston High School.
Ernest McDonald.
Fifth place winner, Ernest McDonald. Fourth would be Jerry Bochik of Lane.
Lane fifth. Jerry Boychik. And
Third place,
Tom
Tom Dunn of Arlington. Second will be Bruce Balnick of Niles West.
Ballman. Ladies and gentlemen, new state champion on the parallel bars.
Richard Sweatman of Proviso East. Marvelous performance by this young fellow, winning 2 individual events. With me now, Mr. Albert Willis, Executive Secretary of the Illinois High School Association. Al, I've heard so much about the good things the Illinois High School Association does. Tell me, what is it and what do you do?
Well, Frank, the High School Association is a voluntary association of high schools involving all of the high schools, the public high schools in the state, and roughly about 50 of the private and parochial schools. And the sole purpose of the association is to supervise and to administer the activities in which these schools have relationships with each other.
Well, you've got a lot going for you now, this gymnastics event. This is pretty much brand new, isn't it?
Well, this is the 8th annual one. We had an invitational tournament down at the University of Illinois for a few years before the High School Association began to conduct the state championship meet. But we've been in the state championship business only 8 years now in gymnastics.
Well, maybe someday it'll rival the basketball championship in popularity.
Well, we hope so, because gymnastics is one of the real fine individual sports.
Fine, Al, and thank you so much for stopping by. Mr. Albert Willis, Executive Secretary of the Illinois High School Association. Now, in the still rings, the ring performers must possess balance and an unusual amount of strength. The routines should include 2 handstands, at least 1 hold move requiring strength. That's a hold move where they must stay motionless for 3 seconds. Exercises include a combination of strength moves, swinging moves, and still positions. A comment on the major faults. They include bending of the arms, touching the straps while in handstands, lack of holding still positions, the required 3 seconds, and swinging of the ring. Vic, bring us up to date on the team scoring so far.
So far, Evanston leads with 53 points, and they have run out of competitors. They have no more left. Niles West in second place with 42.5 points with no competitors left. Proviso East, very strong, 33 points with 2 competitors left. Arlington in fourth place with 32.5 points with 1 competitor. Prospect 25.5 with 1 competitor. Willowbrook with 24 and 2 competitors. And watch out for Thornton. They have 10.5 points, but they have 3 competitors left. Boy had a slight pulled muscle during the middle part of the year and has recovered very nicely and is one of the stronger competitors in this event.
This is Terry Sirek of Thornton High School, of whom we're now speaking.
He placed 3rd in the 1964 finals.
Starting from an absolutely still position.
Pull to a dislocate, shoot to a hand, slight bend, but the arms were almost straight throughout and off of the straps, free of the straps. As a back uprise to a Maltese, very difficult move. Lowers down to a back lever, and I believe he's going up, yes, up to a regular cross. Notice the strength that's required to do this.
You can hear the appreciation of the crowd behind us.
Pull over to a flex to a handstand or a stand rise to a handstand. Notice how still he keeps the rings. It's a back up rise, or I should say reverse giant to a handstand. It's a back pull over to an Olympic cross. Pull in, dislocate, and bird, dislocate, and high strap.
Very excellent performance by Terry Sirek of Thornton High School.
He seems fairly well pleased with his exercise this evening.
As well he should be. Now we're looking at Reed Olson of Arlington High.
And he presses to an inverted cross, a very difficult move. And a regular giant. A reverse giant. Notice the muscular development at this point. Very muscular. Back lever up to a cross. Pull over. There's in locate. Back up rise to an L hold. A hollow back press to a handstand. Notice how he emphasizes turning out of the rings, showing that his arms are off the straps. Plunging down the back roll to an L cross.
Reed Olson of Arlington High School. Another fine performance, this one by Reed Olson of Arlington High. This is Arnie Supke of Oak Park High.
That's a back up rise to a handstand. Notice he cleared the rings as soon as he possibly could. Lower to an inverted cross. Shoot to hand. Lower to an L cross. Dislocate back roll to an L. Front roll. Lower to an Olympic cross. Dislocate and a straddle cut.
Arnie Supke of Oak Park High School.
Richard Fromming.
This is Richard Fromming of Willowbrook, Villa Park.
That's what we call a Nazarian mount to an L cross. Press to an Olympic cross, to a Maltese cross, shoot to a handstand. Notice he's freed the rings. Back roll, 1.5 roll to front lever, snap to a cross. Roll out forward, kick to an L, hold. Hollow back, straight body forward roll. Do a hollow back press to a handstand.
Smooth performance so far.
Very strong boy. Rolls out, back up rise, disengage, and a straddle cut.
Richard Fromming of Willowbrook High School. Fine-looking young lad.
Next up.
This is Don Hatch of Wheaton Central High. Ready to start competition in his still rings performance.
Very good performer. Press to a handstand. Giant swing to a handstand. That would be a regular giant. Lowers to a Maltese cross. Up and down into a L cross. Very nice. Pull over to an L hold. Notice how he keeps the rings away from his body, showing good control. Press to a handstand. Very stable. Lower down and up to a regular cross. Pull in. Reverse kick. Dislocate and a flyaway.
Don Hatch of Wheaton Central, and as one man in the crowd shouted, beautiful.
That should score very high. That was a very nice exercise.
The young gentlemen now mounting the winner's stand to receive their trophies for the still ring finals. Don Hatch in the final position in the still rings nosed out Terry Surik of Thornton High School by 1 point on the score, giving him the championship. They'll introduce them in reverse order now. Reed Olson, these my scores are unofficial, but Reed Olson by our book is 5th from Arlington High School. That's correct. Arnie Supke of Oak Park with 174 points in 4th place.
Congratulations, Arnie. In 3rd place.
In 3rd place, 175 points, Richard Fromming of Willowbrook. 2nd place, Terry Surik of Thornton. And his fellow should get a big hand, Don Hatch of Wheaton Central.
The new state champion on the still rings, Don Hatch of Wheaton Central. Congratulations.
Those are the individual winners in the still rings. Vic Lesh, bring us up to date now on the team scoring, if you will.
All right, in first place, we have Evanston with 53 points. They remain the same. Niles West with 42 1/2. In second place, Arlington has moved up in the 3rd position with 38 1/2. Proviso East in 4th place with 33. Willowbrook moved up to 5th place with 32. Prospect remained in the 6th place with 25 1/2.
More activity in the high school gymnastics tournament from Mount Prospect, Illinois, coming up following this message. Those are the individual performers in the tumbling.
For the tumbling event.
While the judges are being introduced, in tumbling, the performer must display both agility and flexibility. Tumbling routine includes 4 trips down the mat, which must be completed within a 2-minute period of time. The exercises include variations and combinations of front, back, and twisting movements. Now, major faults that could score against them are tumbling off the side of the mats and breaking of the continuity during the routine.
We should see 3 or 4 double back somersaults on the mats tonight, showing the strength of our top tumblers in this event.
Steve Applehans of Palatine High will be the next one down the mat.
This boy will throw a double back somersault in his first routine, I believe. He's a very strong boy and gets an unusual amount of height.
He's going to use the other mat, the hair-filled mat.
Hair-felt 3-inch, yes.
Steve Applehans of Palatine High School.
Notice
Here he comes.
the coach, Joe Toth, waiting the spot.
Crowd like that one.
Yes, it's a very spectacular trick. To have a firm landing on a double back somersault requires hours and hours of practice.
Looked like he had it, too.
Yes, he did.
Steve Applehans.
Front somersault, step out, into his alternate, into a double twist.
Now, they have a time limit of 2 minutes to complete this, don't they?
Yes. Here's his front routine. Slight problem.
Got a little bit off the mat there.
Receive a slight deduction. Yes, you'll hear the timer. I believe it's Mr. Pond in this event that is calling out the time. This will be his last routine. Up to this point, he has shown his alternate work and his front routine. Now he should come back with a bounding routine, back bounder routine. 1 back, 2 backs, 3, and a pull on the end.
Nice performance by Steve Applehans of Palatine.
Very outstanding performer here. He'll throw a double back somersault.
It's Lassie Sargent.
Back through to a double back somersault.
Whoop. Sargent of Proviso East committing a fault on his landing.
But that was a very difficult routine. You notice that he did a back somersault, then a back handspring into the back double somersault, which is a little more difficult. These judges all know the requirements and are very, very strict, accurate judges.
Here's Sargent again. Fluid motion throughout. He landed on the opposite mat, but nonetheless, the difficulty is shown in the routine that he's going through. Preparing now for his 3rd run down the mat. Lassie Sargent of Proviso East High School.
This, in all probability, will be his front routine.
Has his right leg pretty well encased in that knee brace. It's amazing to me that he's able to perform as well as he has.
Yes, he does very well. He's a very light tumbler, as I mentioned before. That's Coach Rutz. I'm giving the performer a starting signal. Hauser back somersaults.
Lassie Sargent of Proviso East High School getting a fine hand from the crowd for his performance. This is now John Mills of Barrington High School.
Yes, very fine performer. You can watch for a double back somersault on this first routine.
The coach is spotted down here. You see him just on the edge of the screen there on the right.
That's
so
Coach Mike Karen, the assistant coach.
Here it comes. Not quite as good as the one performed, I think it was Applehans earlier, but nonetheless, a very difficult move.
He received a slight deduction for touching his hands to the mat, but keep in mind that is a very difficult move. I see John spraying his throat with a little water, I assume it is, out of a spray bottle.
John Mills of Barrington High.
He doesn't need the run that some of the other tumblers are used to. A front somersault, into a back with a half, into a what is called Arabian front, which is 2 front somersaults consecutive. That's Coach Andy Kostick, the head coach from Barrington, with the watch on the far end. These boys on the tumbling event can alter some of their routines depending on how well they've done in the previous ones. So you'll find that many times coaches will be on one end and an assistant coach on the other end. Here's his third routine. Bounders, 3 of them with a full on the end. That's 3 consecutive back somersaults, and then the last somersault was with a full twist. As you can see, he's a very fine performer.
Got to spray his throat again.
Yes.
Almost like an operatic tenor. Minute and a half used up, and John Mills' time as the youngster from Barrington, talking with his coach now, is ready for his 4th and final run down the mat. He doesn't take nearly the long run that the others do.
He's more of a power type tumbler. Doesn't require the speed of a run. Front somersault and a round off, back with a full, and a back with a double full. Again, a slight touch on the last trick, which will receive a slight deduction, but he has a lot of difficulty in that routine.
We'll see how well the judges award points for difficulty as we get the scores posted. John Mills of Barrington High School retiring from the mat while we wait the scores. Coming onto the scene now, the 5 young men who placed in the tumbling finals. 3 of them up there in first place, making it a little snug in that position. The winner, or rather the 5th place man, Ralph Whipple of Thornton High School, receiving his medal. 4th place, Jerry Bonney, which may well have put Willowbrook in 4th place in the team position.
Unofficially, it looks that way at the present time.
Steve Happelhans of Palatine. Leslie Sargent of Proviso East. And John Mills of Barrington, all tied at first place in the tumbling event. So we have tri-champions, if you please, in the tumbling finals. Our highlights coverage of the Illinois High School Gymnastics Championships will continue following this message.
And your fine team, congratulations and best wishes to you.
Niles West receiving their trophy for 3rd place.
Is Proviso East.
43 and 5/6 points. Boy, you couldn't get much closer than that.
Right. Coach, roll time, Proviso East.
Receiving the 2nd place trophy, and they had to get into the fractions.
Now it's always nice to be a champion. And
The Evanston High School gymnastics team receiving the 1st place trophy, accepting is Ron Walker. Ron Walton, the Evanston High coach. Feel a little flattered that we had Ron over here on the telecast for a little while. The awarding of the trophies of the 1965 Illinois High School Association Gymnastics Championships. Tonight?
Certainly am. They did a wonderful job.
Well, I think that you, when you accept the congratulations for your boys, you must also accept the congratulations for your work, because if it weren't for coaching by such gentlemen as you couldn't have performers like you had out here tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, but the boys are the ones that do it.
Our congratulations to you, Ron, for this fine win tonight, and also a very nice thank you for filling in for Vic when he had to run down with his boys.
Oh, thanks.
Congratulations again to the champions, Evanston High School, represented by their coach, Ron Walden. Here's a close-up look now at a young fellow who really outshone the crowd here in the 1965 Gymnastics Championships. This is Dick Spetman of Proviso East. Dick, you just turned in a marvelous performance, winning the all-around championship, the horizontal bar, and the parallel bars. It must make you pretty happy.
It does. Thank you very much.
What year are you in school?
I'm a junior this year.
Junior?
Next year I got another year.
Oh, You're looking forward to walking off with a few more trophies next year then, huh?
Oh, I hope so.
What do you do when you're not performing in gymnastics, or does this take all your time?
Well, I'm involved in church activities. I'm a leader in a boys club, and I love to play the guitar too. That's fun.
You're a wonderful representative for Proviso East, Dick, and congratulations
Okay,
from all of us.
thanks a lot. Thank you.
Now over here is the coach of this young gentleman, Dick Svetman, and the assistant coach. This is Bill Rotzheim over here. Bill, you performed. Can we move you two around just a minute?
Sure.
Come over here, Bill. This is Bill Rotzheim, the coach of Proviso East. And you've got the trophy here with a little kind of a cloth hanging around that. What's the significance, Bill?
Well, I don't know where it quite came from, but about 9 years ago, when we won our first state championship, this cloth suddenly appeared with the team, and it's been traditional ever since.
I just want to show everybody that cloth is around there. I didn't want to ruin the beauty of the trophy, but it's a little good luck charm of sorts here.
That's about it.
Well, you have turned out some mighty fine teams out there, and this is your assistant alongside of you?
This is my assistant, Sandy Horn.
Sandy, you pretty proud of these boys?
Oh, very proud.
Well, we're kind of proud of the show that you put on up for us tonight, and with Dick coming back next year, maybe you'll walk off with a championship.
Well, we had 5 qualifiers. We had 4 state champions, and they were all juniors, so I'm looking forward to a fairly good year next year.
Fine and dandy. From Proviso East, the coach, assistant coach, and their great star. Well, our experts seated alongside of us tonight, the coach of Willowbrook High School, had all of his boys that participated walk off with medals. Victor Lesh, thank you so much for being with us tonight and providing the expert touch that was needed, and congratulations on your boys' performance.
I'm very pleased with the performance tonight. It was a pleasure being here.
And we hope that you'll all join us when next week we come along your way with another Midwest Sports Special. Until then, this is Frank Sweeney saying good night for now.